Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
In other news, White House on war powers deadline. Congress has said, look, we've been in Libya for months and months, bombing, U.S. troops advising you need to basically put a time frame on this. And Obama came out, this is ABC News, and said, I don't need a timeline because this is a limited role. U.S.-backed NATO forces sunk 8 Libyan warships just a few days ago. The bombardments are intensifying all over the country. The forces that are the core of the rebels are al-Qaeda backed and al-Qaeda commanded. But if you're against al-Qaeda, you're unpatriotic now here in this upside-down 1984 world. And, of course, Obama didn't go to Congress for authorization. He went to the UN. And he said that he went to the UN because it ups the credibility of the UN. That was a White House word-for-word statement. So more of that treason. Right on time, al-Qaeda deputy leader says West African Libyan oil is why NATO wants to install a puppet regime. And they say this is from al-Zawahiri from an audio blog with no proof that it's him. I mean, routinely, bin Laden said this, bin Laden said that on a message board. I mean, this is insane. And also on message boards and in audio tapes, the new al-Qaeda chief pledges major attack on London to avenge bin Laden's death. And, of course, there's no proof this person even said that again. It's just a complete phantom so that the power structure can take our liberties and our freedoms. And I told you this on Thursday when Obama said it, because I've seen presidents do this before as a political football, that he would redraw the lines and pressure Israel to give back a bunch of its land. I said, regardless of what you think about this, it's just a political football. The 1967 lines with swaps means different Israeli border than in 1967. So he doesn't mean the 1967 that was in reality. He means an imaginary one. So it's all just talk, ladies and gentlemen. Just like he was going to not have any tax increases on people making more than $125,000 a year individually or $250,000 as a couple, and now he's gone back on that and is trying to raise those taxes. I mean, Obama has lied about everything. Even if you want socialist health care, he didn't give you socialist health care. He gave you fascist health care, where the insurance companies wrote the law. All of thousands and thousands of insider companies like McDonald's are exempt. All of his campaign contributors get exemptions. Nancy Pelosi's people get it. And he just continues rolling on from there, written by the insurance companies. Now, in the 7 minutes we have left, the big national paper of India, CIA had role in Pakistan intelligence. And I thought I'd remind you on the whole bin Laden capture. They said he was in a 45-minute firefight, used his wife as a shield, wasn't true. Then they said the White House was watching it live and took that photo of them watching the kill live. Then they said that, oh, no, the feed cut for 40 minutes. And that the president didn't watch anything. It was a staged photo. Then they threw his body in the ocean, they claim, on and on and on, even though he had kidney failure back in 1999 through 2000. Nobody could live that long. There's a bunch of other lies and flip-flops. This is just complete theater, and our inside sources back in 2002 went public with the fact that he died of kidney failure and Marfan syndrome. Aaron, you've got this latest information for us, a new big flip-flop. I only mentioned a few of the flip-flops and lies.
Yeah, there's all kinds of lies, and the story keeps changing is the main point. It's just that now, today, May 22nd, already May 23rd in the Hindu and Pakistani press, and in Australia where this other report came out, they now say a CIA mole must have guided the SEALs to Osama bin Laden, that the SEALs had a document with all this information about the family, and you have the investigator, Rahim Malik, the interior minister and former head of Pakistan's Federal Investigation Agency, saying if the Americans didn't have definitive information, they couldn't have gone straight to the room where bin Laden was. They claim to have more limited information.
They claim they'd never even seen him there. They just knew he was there.
And it's
all lies. And now it's on the Pakistani press that the U.S. troops got on the helicopter and it blew up. And so, yeah, they send him, I guess, to kill one of the bin Laden doubles as the inside baseball. They kill the bin Laden double. They get on their aircraft, it blows up, get rid of the witnesses, the whole 9 yards, and you'll never see that ceremony with the Navy SEALs being awarded. Plus, it's the secret SEAL Team 6 that has secret teams within it, so the other SEALs don't even know who was in it.
Yeah, you're referring to the report from Paul Watson, and the one today from Paul Craig Roberts. Is the U.S. driving the world towards World War III? How many SEALs died at the Osama compound? And then this other story about the mole inside Pakistani intelligence. This Malik guy says the document suggests there's more to the story. It's quite possible a false or partial narrative was given of how bin Laden was found, said a CIA official. So the point is the story just doesn't hold up.
Well, I mean, look. If Richard Nixon told the public that he'd killed a bin Laden character, no one would believe it had been caught lying. Bill Clinton lies constantly. George W. Bush got caught lying constantly. These people they staged attacks on our ships to get us into Vietnam, and we were called conspiracy theorists until they declassified it. Well, they came back from the ships in '64. The San Diego Herald Tribune interviewed people on the ships. Officers said it was fake. That was never a conspiracy theory. It just became an urban legend because people didn't have the San Diego Herald Tribune article or the Kogo radio reports and things like that out of San Diego. But it's now admitted that was staged.
I agree.
But, I mean, I only mentioned some of the lies and changing of the stories over and over again. And when this came out, and then people say, well, if Bush, knew that bin Laden was dead, he would have used this. Bush, Obama, they're just front men. And that's what folks have got to grow up and realize. There might be some fighting over the levers of power politically. But at the end of the day, at that high level, these people are bought and paid for. It's like Goldman Sachs and J.P. Morgan, these offshore banks, they bought off both McCain and Obama. So either way, they win. And I told people for decades, for more than 15 years, and the old-timers for more than 50 years, people like G. Edward Griffin, that it's offshore banks that own the Federal Reserve. And now that's come out in the lawsuits by Bloomberg and others that the majority of the bailout money went to foreign offshore banks. That's where they take the tax money. We're ruled by foreign banks. Of course, they want a police state. That's why they lobby these big mega banks for the police state, for higher taxes, because they need a police state to straitjacket us. And they need these staged political events. By the way, they're back in the news saying that Al-Qaeda is pledging new major attacks. Well, we told people this was coming. And you watch that million pages of documents, Aaron, that they say million plus in bin Laden's rat nest that look like a Dallas crack house. They're now claiming that they're going to be giving us more intel, and we're seeing Fox starting, these shows, the secrets of Al-Qaeda. Oh, they're with Iran. I mean, you can really see them building up that. Oh, we found in the rat hole the proof that bin Laden carried out 9/11, trying to bolster this whole lie, just like the fake passports they planted on 9/11.
Well, yeah, at first they claimed they were absolutely certain, had the DNA matching evidence before they even had time to test it. Then they later changed the story to say they were only 45 to 55% sure. And now they're saying, well, it looks like they must have been sure after all. That's if there even was a bin Laden. But the whole propaganda is just so textbook. I mean, I've read the Walter Lippmann and stuff studying the World War I propaganda and the whole idea of the butcher Saddam, the butcher bin Laden. That's kind of a tradition of propaganda that goes back hundreds of years, where it's the butcher of Belgium, the butcher.
Well, now they admit Gaddafi did not have brigades of men raping women with Viagra. State Department, that was a lie. That's just like it's admitted the State Department put out fake reports of throwing babies out of incubators in Kuwait. They always create a massacre or a red shirt to wave as the pretext.
Yeah, John Brennan's whole thing about using the wife as a human shield, not only was it not true, but it was intentional propaganda that they've used on lots of dictators, lots of public enemies, just to make them look cowardly in the first round of reports and stuff.
And again, folks, if you like being fooled, if you like the narrative, the little fake religion of being scared of bin Laden, and so sacrificing all your liberties and freedoms, and you like being conned and manipulated and bamboozled and scammed, then be my guest. But the globalists on record have set up this police state grid for you and your family. This is not for men hiding in caves, even if you believe they're this real threat. But how do you square the CIA then creating Al-Qaeda and now using them in Libya?
It's just intentionally deluding the public.
What did William Randolph Hearst, the father of yellow journalism, say after World after they started the Spanish-American War in 1898.
So you get the photos, I'll provide the war.
He said, you provide the paintings, the images, because they had illustrators then, of the Spanish massacres in Cuba. I'll supply the war. Yeah, you supply the pictures, I'll supply the war. And that's what they do. And America's in deep trouble. Aaron, great job. See you back tomorrow, live, 11 a.m. Central. Great job to the crew. Love you all. Defend liberty. Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.